The SABC and the South African Football Association have held a meeting reflecting on the successful performances of the past year and planning for the future. Both parties reaffirmed their commitment to ensuring that they deliver on their mandates and continue to support the men and women's national football teams who create thrilling and memorable moments for South Africans. For more on this, we're now joined by SABC Sports Head Keletso Totlhanyo, and she joins us now via our video link for more on this conversation. Keletso, thank you so much for your time this evening here in SABC News. Now, of course, lots to celebrate when it comes to the SABC as well as SAFA. How successful of a relationship did you have this year?
Thank you so much for having me, and good evening to you and the viewers. The SABC and SAFA has a very good working relationship. This has been one of our successful years. If you remember at the beginning of the year, Bafana were playing at AFCON in Ivory Coast, where we actually they took a third position, and already we have qualified for the next AFCON. The team qualified without even losing, and the SABC has always been behind Bafana. We covered all these games live. So our relationship with the South African Football Federation is really solid, and we've continued covering all the other matches, including Banyana, as well as the Hollywood Bad Super League. For this season, we covered 50 matches of the Hollywood Bad Super League, and we covered the final 2 weeks ago live on SABC One. So actually, we really are proud that as a South African public broadcaster, we are delivering on our mandate to make sure that our content is available or accessible to all South Africans out there. And we're making sure that all the national teams are live on SABC, different channels and radio stations. So our meeting yesterday, it was mainly to just look back at the year. One of the things that we had promised as SABC was to produce SAFA Magazine television show, which we started a month ago, and SAFA is really happy to have this relationship with SABC. And we, as the public broadcaster, we really are proud that we are part and parcel of all the successes of our national teams.
And how important is it for these two entities, South Africa, the SABC and SAFA, to have a cordial relationship to ensure that, South Africans can access the game?
So one thing that we need to highlight as a SABC is that SABC and SAFA has had this relationship for the last 30 years. We've covered every other game where Bafana and Banyana has participated, whether it's friendly, whether it's AFCON qualifiers, whether it's the FIFA World Cup qualifiers. So we are really taking pride as a public broadcaster that we are partnering with the Federation of the football in South Africa. And it is important for us to keep on touching base and meeting and looking back as to how has it been this past year. So basically, our meeting yesterday was to look back at the year that was and planning for next year. As you are aware, we're actually starting very early with Bafana playing their FIFA World Cup qualifiers in March. So we were really just sitting, planning, and making sure that as a public broadcaster, we are going to continue broadcasting all these matches. And like I said, it's not only just the national teams, which is Bafana and Banyana. We're also doing under 17 and the 20s, as well as the Sasol League and the Hollywood Bad Super League.
And, looking at your statement a bit earlier on, it also states some of the issues that were reported in the media, saying that the SABC owes SAFA. And, of course, as the SABC, you have rubbished those claims.
Well, people like creating stories when there is no story. SABC and SAFA has a cordial relationship, and we have been paying SAFA. And I think for us, we actually respect the details of the contract. We will not go out there and say this is how much we're paying SAFA. Even the speculation that it said that we are owing SAFA, it's actually not true, because our rights, our contract is not about that amount of money that they have quoted. So it's just people are creating issues where there's no issues. And I think what I'm grateful for as SABC is that we met with SAFA and to deal with that. And unfortunately, that whatever information did not come from the team that we met yesterday, but we do have a very relationship, and we have been paying SAFA. I mean, and it's not up to us to go out and say we've paid this much or whatever. We know contractual obligation, we are meeting our contractual obligation. So it's just people like creating stories where there's no story.
Ma'am, thank you so much for your time. It's been a pleasure talking to you. Of course, that is Keletso Totlhanyo. She is the SABC Sport Head, talking to us there about the relationship, or that cordial relationship shared with the SABC and as well as SAFA. And of course, the work ahead continuing for next year to give the viewers of SABC that much needed viewership when it comes to broadcasting all of those games live here in SABC platforms. At the same time, also they're highlighting that 30-year relationship that SAFA and the SABC shares.